Welcome back to TYT Sports, everybody. Ben and Jason here. Ben, we're going to have a nice, fun time on TYT Sports this morning because you're going to tell me, tell the rest of the world, 6 weeks into the NFL season, who is no doubt out of the NFL playoff situation. Now, we're going to start with the AFC East. We are 6 weeks into the year, and I can't believe even I'm looking at some of these going, yeah, even I can figure some of these guys are out. It's been the Patriots out of playoff contention?
The Patriots probably make the playoffs. The only team out of playoff contention in that division is the Miami Dolphins. They're not going on a run with the interim coach, with Dan Campbell. It's not happening. They're not making the playoffs. I get it. They're 2-3. They'll technically make it, but here's what's not. They're not catching the Patriots. So they got to finish with one of the two best records of a second-place team. So you're telling me the Dolphins are going to finish ahead of Pittsburgh but then the problem is San Diego is also 2-4. So, or the Jets. I'm rescinding. They have
You're starting off with a rescinding.
I'm going to start off. The Dolphins have a 2% chance of making the playoffs.
Oh, that's a healthy amount. For the Dolphins, you just maybe had made the entire Miami fan base
realistically
ecstatic.
The Dolphins are out of.
Are they a relevant team though?
The Dolphins?
Yeah,
no,
I
think
they got to be. Dan Marino.
They were 17-0. All right.
Let's move to the AFC North, if that's the case. You have Cincinnati sitting up top 6-0, Pittsburgh 4-2, the Browns 2-4, and the Ravens 1-5. Who's in, who's out?
The Browns are out of the playoffs. The Ravens are out of the playoffs. The Browns don't have the personnel to go on a significant run. They don't have a quarterback who's going to lead them to 10 wins, which is realistically what you're going to be needing, because somewhere between San Diego, Pittsburgh, the Jets, Buffalo, there's going to probably be 10 wins. Maybe 9 sneaks in, but Cleveland doesn't have it. Baltimore's 1-5. They look terrible. That defense looks horrible. It's weird to say that about the Ravens. But like the Steelers defense, that you can't keep talking about the Steelers defense like it was a different era. The Steelers defense better than the Ravens. But something's wrong with the Ravens, and they're in for an ugly year. That said, next year, because they have a great coach, I already love the Ravens over next season.
Yeah, that's a good call. And also, the Steelers overhauled their offense with every weapon in the AFC that you would want, even without Ben Roethlisberger.
I know it's just tempting to think the Ravens have a significant defense because they always do, and we thought that for years and years about the Steelers, but for now 3 straight years they've been an inferior defense.
Ravens' defense a little bit banged up too. It's football. They're all a little bit banged up, but Ravens I think have suffered from that more so than the Steelers, at least in that division. AFC South. This is an interesting one.
Houston, Tennessee, Jacksonville, next division. Out.
Indianapolis.
They're going to win that division. They might win it at 8-8, but they're going to win that division. There's no way 2 teams get in from that division.
Wouldn't it be great if even if they won the division at 7-9, the NFL said, no, we're going to let out another team into the playoffs this year. AFC West, Denver 6-0, and then it just gets ugly. Oakland 2-3, San Diego 2-4, and the Chiefs, like the Ravens, a surprising 1-5.
So I'd say the Chiefs are out. They're the only team that's definitely out there. San Diego, I love that they're 2-4, but they're clearly capable of reeling off some wins.
Right, yeah.
I don't think they will, but they're capable of it. And bear in mind, you got Denver, New England, and Cincinnati at 6-0. Those teams will lose games, and as they lose games, other teams will win games. It's rare that this late in the season we have this many unbeaten teams. So that has pulled the division, that has pulled the entire conference to where it seems to be a bunch of haves and have-nots. But the NFL has proven over the last 20 years it will find its way to the middle, and some of these teams at 2-4, like San Diego, maybe like Houston, to backtrack a little, and maybe Miami if they find some magic here. These teams will start racking up wins, and they'll get to 9 wins, and 9 wins might do it. 10 probably, but 9 might get you.
It's always been the magic number for the playoffs, 9 to 10 wins, depending on your division. NFC East.
Well, then there are years where we've seen years where 11 hasn't done it.
That's true. That is true, but I would say for the most part, that magic number has always been 9 to 10 for the teams just trying to get in, not the ones that are obviously running the table. We're 13-3 at the end of the year. So NFC East 2 weeks ago, Ben, done. Giants done. Win the division, no doubt. 0 chance.
Giants are going to win the division.
3-3. Eagles. Giants 3-3, Dallas 2-3. See, you say that, and the Pigskins 2-4, but you say that, but the Giants have to go into Dallas this week and most likely lose that game. Philadelphia still shows barely a semblance of a good team.
If the Giants are any good, and I think they have,
and Ramon Bryant will be back at some point in this season.
I got you. I was probably wrong. Not the first time that's happened. I still think if I had to pick one team to win that division, I'll pick the Giants. I'm interested to see how Matt Castle plays. But I think the Giants should win that game. If Matt Castle's the starting quarterback and there's no Des Bryant, the Giants should win that game. They should have won the first game.
Won the second game of the season.
There's one team that has a 0% chance of making the playoffs in that division.
Pigskins.
It's your Washington Pigskins.
There you go. The NFC North. Green Bay 6-0, Minnesota 3-2, Chicago 2-4,
Detroit,
and your favorite head coach Jim Caldwell 1-5.
Detroit, and because the way the league is stacked, because I find it when you look at a team like Chicago, if you figure that Atlanta or Carolina is going to get a wild card, right, and then you factor in that Minnesota's a good bet to be competitive. Who knows about St. Louis if they get back into that? Maybe one of the NFC East teams. And Seattle is 2-4. So are you suggesting that the Bears at 2-4 at the end of this season are going to get past Seattle for a second wild card spot?
No.
Inconceivable. So the Bears are out.
Bears are out. And Detroit.
And Detroit, obviously. Detroit, I think Detroit's going to get dropped to the Big Ten.
They don't run the football enough?
This will be nice. So Ohio State's going to be in the NFC North next year.
Yeah. They actually have an offense that might do well in the NFC North. The NFC South, Carolina 5-0, Atlanta 5-1, Tampa Bay 2-3, and the Saints 2-4.
Tampa Bay and New Orleans, no shot.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were going to say. And then the NFC West.
Again, look at it this way: if you know Atlanta and Carolina aren't going to totally fade, and they won't, is there a chance that Tampa Bay or New Orleans does better over the course of the season than Seattle?
Everything you're saying seems so logical, and it seems like it would play out and make sense, except like trap games happen and weird things happen in the NFL, and head coaching goes down.
Not so weird that New Orleans or Tampa Bay makes the playoffs.
I would say not so weird that New Orleans, for whatever reason, not that I know, not that you know, not that any of us know, I just wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta and New Orleans somehow in like 5 weeks had similar records. Or were closer in their standings than 5-1 and 2-4. Yeah. As in, like,
no, they're better teams.
6-4 and
they're better teams. They're better teams. You know why? Look at they're better teams because New Orleans has got a lot of problems, but
they do. So does Atlanta. I think Atlanta has more problems than they're showing.
But Cam Newton and Matt Ryan are professional quarterbacks who will get you to the playoffs, and
Drew Brees and
Jameis Winston is. And I'm not knocking Drew Brees. I hope he plays somewhere interesting next year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now. So the NFC West, the Cardinals 4-2. J.R. Jackson, St. Louis Rams 2-3.
I'm tempted to not eliminate anybody because I'm so intrigued with what the Niners have done the last 2 weeks. But I think the Niners are out for the same reason that I'm eliminating the Bears and Tampa Bay because you can't expect those teams to outdo Seattle the rest of the year. Seattle's got problems, and they're not good. They're not a great team. And I'm just picking Seattle because we know they're good. But that eliminates the fact that the Vikings are ahead in that race, plus the loser of the Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys is it's competitive for a wild card. So the notion that the Niners can get off the mat and get past and through those teams seems unlikely. But I don't ban the Niners the way because they're better than the Bears.
Then you ban the Lions
like
and the Bears.
Colin Kaepernick, something like I always thought he was done, but some little light went on. And he's playing differently. He's playing much closer to what over the last 6 quarters. It's the second half against the Giants, and then last week that he seems different. So we'll see. I'm intrigued. I'm pulling for him, so I hope he is different.
Are you still pulling for Jim Tomsula?
I'm totally pulling for Jim Tomsula. I'm dubious, but I'm totally pulling for him. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so there you have it. Teams that have been eliminated. Leave the teams that you think have no chance to make the NFL playoffs this season in the comments section below.
Real quick. I'm talking. I've just Dan Keston in the booth telling me that Washington also has no chance to make the playoffs next year. Yeah, so that's breaking
Unbelievable.
news.
Like, favorite, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. We'll see you next time.